Hey, Robbie Vitale here, independent Scentsy director of the fabulously scented Queens. So I'm going to talk about events. Everybody asks me so many questions because I love doing events. Events are my main source of business for my business. So I'm just going to jump right in. So it's going to be very simple. I have an outline that I made up. I can send it to you if you email me. The email will be down below. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff, and subscribe. All right, so the first question that I usually get asked is how do I find an event? Um, or another word for that is a vendor event. So the number one thing is ask your friends and family. Put a Facebook post out or Instagram or whatever you use. Just asking. Say, hey, I just started a business and I really want to do an event. Does anybody know of any local events that I can go to that I can sign up for? So then the next thing is look up on Facebook groups. So there's so many groups. Like I'm in New York City, so I live in the tri-state area, what we call it. There is New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. I've traveled to Pennsylvania for an event, like 2 hours away. I've traveled 2 hours east out to Riverhead for an event. So just me being in New York City doesn't mean that there's an event like down the block for me because there's so many people here. I've done events in Manhattan. I've done events in, like I said, Riverhead, which is like the sticks, honestly. The only thing that's out there that I would go out there for is shopping. They have the outlets there. Um, so look up Facebook groups, just type in vendor events, whatever your town is, whatever your state is. If it's like a tri-state area, like where I live, do the same thing, put tri-state area, and just do a Google search. Do a Google search. Like I put in New York City vendor events, or I put in Nassau County vendor events because I'm very close to Nassau. I live in Queens. So there's some questions you should ask the promoter before you do book the event. And this is very important. So the first question is, how long is the event? Is the event going to be for one day? Is it a weekend? Is it a week? That's something that's very important to know. Because then when you find out how much it is, then you can gauge whether or not it's worth it. But all of these questions is going to gauge whether or not it's worth it for you. So, how long is the event? Is there electric? And if there is electric, how much is it? Another thing you can ask is how many amps are you allowed or allotted? Because some events do they only give you some, and then you could pay like extra for more or whatever. How many vendors are there? Is there a Scentsy consultant there? I don't do events where there's another Scentsy consultant, only because I don't want to have any issues with another consultant because we're all family, honestly, and unless it's somebody like on my team or lateral to me or something like that, I really don't prefer to do it that way. So how long has the event been going on for? So is this like the first year? Is this event like 10 years old? Is it like 20 years old? That's something very important because an event that is established is going to be a good event because people are going to go there. So how do you pay? How do you pay is a big question, and that's something you should definitely ask them right away. It's something that should be very important to you, and I'm going to get into that next. How do they advertise? It's up to the promoter to advertise the event to have a good event. So you can get someone, and I've had it before, where they say, well, we advertise this, and that, whatever. Well, how do you know that they're advertising this? How do you know that they are putting the money? Because a lot of times the booth fee, most of that goes to advertising. Unless it's something like a church or synagogue or, like a community type of thing. But most of the money for like a large event, like let's say a home show, most of that money goes to the advertising. They put it in local papers, they put it on the radio, they put it on TV, they have signs, stuff like that. So the last question for this category is what time do you set up? What time does the event open and close? This is very important because you don't want to get there when exactly they open up and you don't have time to set up. Because as a Scentsy consultant, we need a lot of time to set up. We need to set up our warmers, wax, all that stuff, you know? For me, at least, I know that it's for me, I am a perfectionist when it comes to setting up the booth, and I love doing it. So I need to be there at least an hour ahead of time. If it's an outdoor event, if it's a 3-day event, I go the day before. Okay, so how should I pay? This is very important. And I'm going to tell you a little story about it, about why this is very important after the couple questions. So, I never pay in cash. Unless it's somebody that I do know personally and somebody that's just arranging something, then I would. Um, I also don't pay at the day of the event. Some events do that, where they're like, well, you can just show up and pay at the day of the event. No, I want to do it beforehand. I want to make sure that I have um, some invoice that I paid, that I don't get there, and then all of a sudden the place is full, and I don't have, I have like a car full of stuff and nothing to do. So the next answer for me, what I would say is credit card is always preferred. Check is good as well. It shows a proof of payment for tax deductions. Remember, these are business expenses. So whatever you use to get to your event, gas, tolls, if you have to rent a van, if you have to um, borrow someone's car, something like that. Make sure you have receipts for everything you do because these are all tax deductible. Okay, so is this a church, a school, synagogue, or a community function? This is something that is important. It's something that is also, it happens a lot in the fall and it happens a lot in the winter, like for Christmas, for fall events, harvest, things like that. There's so many goes on. Last year I had 28 events that I booked for the fall and winter season, and 2 of them were huge events. They were home shows. So, how long is a congregation? How large? I'm sorry. How large is the congregation, school, or synagogue? Um, how long has this event been going on? Some of these events have been going on for like 40 years. You know, it started out as like a tag sale, and then it just ended up into something bigger. And it's great because you're really helping that church or organization, whatever. You're helping them raise funds and things like that. So I love these ones. Um, do your own research on it. Do your own research. Go online and just type in. Let's say like I did the Upper Room, which was not a good event for me. So I put in Upper Room Ministries um, fall fair. And although it is a very big fair, I just didn't do well in it. So maybe somebody else would do well in it. For me, I didn't do well. Um, but you can look it up and you can see that it is like, I think that one is like 20 years. It's been going on for 20 years or something like that. So, what should you bring? This is something that I get asked a lot. Actually, all these I get asked a lot, but what should I bring is something that is, and you should make a checklist. I have a checklist that I make because I always forget something. I was talking about the Riverhead one. I went all the way out to Riverhead. Guess what I forgot? I forgot my card reader. I went to Walmart and bought a new one. But I went the night before. If I was there the same day, it wouldn't have been good. All right, so this is what I bring for an event: cash for change, credit card reader. I use PayPal Me. I actually have both. I have PayPal Me and I have Square. Product list labeled. Make sure you label them and fold them up. I have mine folded like this. I'll show you a little quick thing here. Everything's falling now. I just put it in 3s because I give out a lot of these. I give anybody I speak to these. So put your label right there, and I just fold it into 3. That's it. Very simple. Showcase brochures labeled. Again, here's my showcase brochure. And it's labeled right there. And catalog. Label your catalogs. Bring extra labels. There might be a scent bar or there might be a warmer that you forgot to label before you took it. Join packets. Just make up a join packet. Fundraiser packet. And the reason why I say a fundraiser packet and a join packet is because I've gotten some consultants from events. I've never gotten a fundraiser from an event though, but if somebody says to me, because I have signs up that says fundraisers, I ask me about fundraisers, they ask me about joining, do you want to join my team? I have all these signs like this. So if somebody asks me a question about fundraisers, I say, well, this is exactly what you would give to your people to raise the funds, and this is how you enter it in. And so I put a fundraiser packet together. I have the fundraiser envelopes. I have the product. No, I know the. I'm sorry. I have the showcase brochures in there. I have a paper that I printed out. I got from one of the fundraiser groups on Facebook, and there's some scent circles in there. So it's for a scent circle fundraiser. And I also have a paper saying like what exactly they get, what a scent circle is, all that stuff. So rub and sniff stickers. I got that idea from a friend of mine. They're great because if a kid's coming and looking and you're like, oh, do you want a sticker? First ask the parents though, because some parents, especially in New York, they get a little, So ask the parents first. Say, can I give them a sticker? Oh yeah, of course. Do you want a sticker? And then the kids all looking around and they're smelling, and then the parents smell it. Signs. You have to have signs. I know that it could be an expense. Could be a big expense. But my first event, I didn't have one sign. Nobody knew what it was. They just walked by and they were like, "What is this? What is this?" Business cards. If you have a trifold, bring your trifolds. Brochures, warmer of the month, Scentsy Go. If it's a holiday or like a summer or fall or whatever brochure, bring that. Samples, extension cords, and whatever displays that you have. So the next thing is to brand yourself. You should always brand yourself no matter what anyway. This is something that you should do on a daily basis. Like, this is me. This is what I wore today. I don't wear anything that does not have Scentsy in it. And a name tag. I got a name tag. I think it's actually in my car, so I don't forget it. From the Success Store. Okay, so my best-selling products. This is just something that I put up a list of things that sell at my events. So the number one is a mini warmer. It really is. The mini warmers are a bestseller for me. I have this big, huge display that holds it holds, I think, 18 mini warmers, and like I could put them on. It is so perfect. People see that as soon as they come to my booth. Wax bars, because if you get a mini warmer, you need a wax bar. Car bars, scent packs, buddy clips, Scentsy buddies, and light bulbs. I keep light bulbs in my car because, again, you have to brand yourself. My name is all over my car. Scentsy's all over my car. I've had people stop me in a store, like in a parking lot, asking me if I have light bulbs. And I'm like, yes, I do. What light bulb do you need? Oh, well, do you know that warmer that it sort of looks like the bar? Oh, you're talking about the Classic Curve. Yes, I do. We have a 25 watt. I have one right in my car for you. So during the event, don't sit down too much. I know that there's an event that I have that's like 10 hours. It's hard standing, and it's hard standing on these like concrete or like slate floors. So if you are really, really invested in doing events, then they have these things. They have them at Home Depot. I think it was like $20 for like 4 of them, and I got 2 packs, and they're perfect. It's they're cushioned mats, and they interlock together sort of like a puzzle piece. And they have saved my feet and my back so much at these events. So do not try to sit, because if you're sitting, it gives people an out to just walk right by and not stop and say anything to you, or even answer you. If you're sitting down, you're like, are you trying to look over, saying, hey, hi, how are you? Have you heard of Scentsy? Boom. Yeah, they're gone. Say hi, give a compliment. Even if you don't think that that person has a nice shirt, start the conversation. And if I'm walking by and somebody says to me, oh my God, I love your hair, because, the purple, a lot of people do that. Again, that's me branding myself. This is a conversation starter. Well, I'm 35 years old, and I really, I didn't think I was going to dye my hair purple, but I am with this amazing company, and purple is their color, and blah, blah, blah. Right there. That's in. You're in. You're in. So compliment, say hi. Do not let somebody walk by. Don't let somebody walk by you and you do not say hi to them, because I'm telling you, there's so many people that would have just walked by and not even bought anything if I didn't say hello to them. I'm going to tell you a story about this fair that I was at. It was in Jersey. It was in PAL, Police Athletic League. And it was so dead in there. It was so dead. There was a snowstorm and the snow melted, but it turned to ice, so everything was like ice. I even fell bringing stuff out. It was a big mess. It was a decent event, but it was a big mess. So, unfortunately, sometimes you have to stand behind the table. So, I set up where I'm standing behind the table, so it's like just a row of tables, and I always get 2 tables just to make sure I have enough room. And so the woman was walking by, and I was like, "Hi, how are you?" She's like, "You're the only person who said hello to me." And she ended up buying something. She was just going to walk by. All right, so the last thing is have a knowledge of the products. They're going to ask you all kinds of questions. Believe me. They're going to ask you all kinds of questions. So again, I have all Scentsy. I was walking down to the store, which is like 2 blocks away, and I live in an Orthodox Jewish neighborhood. So I say hi to everybody. I have scent circles with me just to give out. So I'm talking to this woman, nice woman, very nice woman, and she says to me, she's like, "Well, is the wax kosher?" And I kind of got taken aback from that, and I'm like, "Well, you're not supposed to eat it." And she's like, "No, well, we keep our house kosher, everything, like plates." And I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "I'm really sorry, I didn't know that." I'm like, "Thank you so much. You learn something new every day." And I said, "Yes, our wax is kosher." I did a quick search, and I said, "Yes, our wax is kosher." She's a good customer of mine. She gets stuff all the time, and I deliver it to her because she lives right down the block. So these are just some things that I do. These are some things that I put together to, I know the video is a little long, I'm sorry. Some things I put together to, if anybody needs help, please just message me. Like I said, all my information is going to be down below. And I hope you guys have awesome events. I would show pictures, but I know it's out of compliance to show that we have stock on hand. So if you want any pictures, send me a message and I will email it. I just, we can't do that publicly. So thank you so much for watching. Again, subscribe. You can send me a message, email me. If anybody wants to join my team and be one of the queens, the link will be down below. Thank you so much, and I hope everybody has a great night.